You know what I mean? Try to use that meaty part, you know? You could always use your knees, your thighs, you know, if you can, you know. You could always grab a motherfucker and start kneeing them. Because there's a lot of tremendous force in this. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could put y'all in some karate school or something like that, or some martial arts. I never had the opportunity to meet in martial arts, but martial arts training teach you a lot of discipline. You feel me? Just like, Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris, martial arts is good. In fact, as a matter of fact, Bruce Lee invented Kick Judo. That's his own style. And there's also like Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan is a real martial artist, you know? And a lot of great fighters study martial arts for years, you know? So there's nothing wrong with studying martial arts. It's not embarrassing or nothing. You can, if you can pay for martial arts classes maybe like $50 to $100 every week and go in there and, practice a little bit. If you don't like it, you can find another school. A good martial arts class, the instructor in there is called a sensei. If you find like a dojo to go train in, I think that's what it's called, a dojo. You feel me? They will teach you how to use your feet. If you don't necessarily got to use your hands, you could be like using your feet or whatever. But you got to be real athletic for that. If you could come on some roundhouse, then you really talking some serious action. Then you could even get into wrestling and all that too. When you have your opponent down, you could put him in a submission and just put him to sleep. There's many different techniques. You could take somebody's arm and have it like this, and then they be like surrendering. If you know those kind of techniques. Not everybody knows those kind of techniques. They got to be trained in that. You could also read books on it. You could go to the library and find certain books on martial arts and study the history of martial arts, and then eventually learn about some of the greatest trainers or some of the greatest artists of martial arts, because martial arts is an art form. That's why it's called martial arts, because it's a form of art. Take it from there. If you're really serious about your training and your body and your self-defense, and saving your life and saving your loved one's life also, and in cases absolutely necessary, because the police ain't gonna always be there. You can't rely on the police. You can't trust the police. You gotta defend yourself. You can't trust the police. Look what's going on nowadays with the police. The police are scared to death to be police. There ain't no real police officers out there no more, like how it used to be. Back in the days, they had police that really had to defend themselves. They didn't use computers and all that. They were just out there raw. They didn't use computers. They had some police that didn't even have cars. They rode on horses. And their best friend was not their gun, but their horse. It was like that in the West, like the Wild Wild West, and it was like that on the East Coast. Their best friend was their horse. Not necessarily their gun. Because a horse could run faster than a human being. And if you sit down and you look at a horse long enough, you will see how strong that horse is. And eventually you will start to be as strong as that horse. Because a horse's legs is like almost the size of a person's whole body. So that's what's up. But nowadays they got cars and they got computers in their cars. They sit down on their computer in the car and they sit there and eat donuts and drink coffee. So they scared. As soon as they see somebody that looks tough, they automatically pull their gun. They don't know what to do. They don't have the time. They only care about getting paid. They only care about doing work in overtime. They don't care about uh okay, I'm gonna go train after I get off of work or something like that. They don't care about that. All they care about is busting their gun and getting on their computer. That's all they care about. So you cannot trust the police. Sometimes you gotta defend yourself. If you can legally have your own gun, that's okay. You can get a gun permit, you can get a gun license. And once you do that, you can legally go and buy something for your home. A home defense weapon, there's home defense weapons like a shotgun that shoots buckshot, that doesn't actually shoot bullets. It shoots like 1,000 pellets when it does shoot, and it's just designed to knock the person down. You can buy yourself a bulletproof vest to protect yourself in your house. You can have like an alarm system. Put alarms on your windows or something like that. You know what I mean? So you gotta defend yourself. You gotta be serious about your health. You gotta be serious about home defense, and you gotta be serious about not breaking the rules and following the law. As long as you do everything by the law, what the amendments say you can do, and what your rights are as a U.S. citizen in this country, you can't go wrong. You will never go to jail. You would never be arrested. For example, in the state of Georgia, you have the Stand Your Ground law. That's why I named myself after Soulja Boy, because Soulja Boy is one of them that actually defended himself. And he had to shoot people to save his life because they came in the house with guns and he had his gun and he shot them. And the police did not arrest him because he was working under the laws. He was in his own house. They broke into his house and he had his gun and he shot at them and dropped some of them, and the rest of them ran away. And when the police came, they did not arrest him because he was working under self-defense and he legally had his gun that he bought from a store, from a gun shop. So in the hip hop community, he's one of the greatest ones that I respect to this day. I'm not talking about the way how he carried himself and his swag and all that. When the time came, he was able to defend himself. And ain't nobody could really say nothing about that. Period. Ain't nobody could scandal his name or libel his name or none of that, So I respect that cat, Soulja Boy, for that. And he got people that's witnesses that could back him up and say, yeah, that's what happened. So if his story is a real story and it's true, he put in work. You feel me? But this video is going on 22 minutes. You feel me? I'm about to post it on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, and y'all could watch it. But like I said, this is really for my family. This video was intended for my family because I don't get the chance to see my family every day. And this is how I used to talk to my family when I was living with my family. But right now I'm not living with my family and I can't really talk to them the way how I used to talk to them, especially when I was in New York, Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, and all that shit. We never got the chance to really live in Staten Island and Queens and all that, but when we was out there, we was always on point, So let that be known. And that wasn't too long ago. That was only like 10 years ago, going on to 11 years, 12 years. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing gonna change that. You feel me? So I'm still who I am. I'm still the same way. I was on point in New York. You know what I'm saying? When I went to Arizona, they recognized how I was on point as soon as I got off the damn airplane. You feel me? So you know, I carried on that tradition, but it's all good. Watch the video, all right? Just watch the video, okay? Right on.